These parts ain't big enough for me and you, partner. We've all heard that a dozen times in Western movies. What was once called the Bureau of Livestock and Mines eventually evolved into the Bureau of Land Management. No matter what you call it, the BLM is the largest landholder in the United States. It's bigger than McDonald's, but you wouldn't know it from all the cattle they steal. While people like Lavoy Finicum are killed and Cliven Bundy is jailed, the Greenpeace hippies sing the praises of the National Park Service. I hope they have a picnic basket, boo. With sway over 264 million acres, mostly used for grazing, that was the land left over after everyone from homesteaders to land developers took what they wanted. You have to ask yourself, what happens when you hit the Pacific, run off all the Indians, and there's no more land to acquire to manage? Why, you just turn around and start working your way back the other way. That's what. A little gerrymandering, a few guns, and them ranchers are no problem, just like them Injuns. All is shrouded in secrecy, and I've never seen the government do that before. A certain amount of kickback goes into the BLM. Let's see, oil and gas receipts, timber receipts, salvage receipts, things like that. And there's more pork there than a barbecue pit on Juneteenth. With all this going on, the general public doesn't even know who they are, unless, of course, they shoot somebody. Oh, my bad. They don't shoot anybody. They have the FBI do it for them. The FBI is the BLM's Luca Brasi. Oh, one more thing. The BLM loses money. But it's hard to tell because they don't keep up with things like revenues and expenses and things like that. Now, where did this boondoggle come from? You guessed it, the Congress. The current BLM was born in 1946 and emerging of the General Land Office and something called the Grazing Service. This dichotomy of the two entities, one mandating land disposal and the other land stewardship, gave us the schizophrenic little wench we enjoy today. The General Land Office was to dispose of hundreds of millions of acres that had been acquired from the Indians, Wounded Knee, Little Bighorn, things like that. They had treaties like the one that brought Texas into the Union, but by 1860 had sold about 300 million acres on pennies for $1 to anyone who came through the door, all but the Indians. This must have been like Black Friday at the Walmart. Congress designed the whole thing to give small farmers and war veterans a fair shot, but you know what happens when the government gets in there and tries to level the playing field. So here comes the mines. When it was all over, it just left an empty hole, kind of like an ex-wife. Then we have the Grazing Service, enacted by the Taylor Grazing Act of 1939, because them cows was just eating too much grass. The government worries about grass a lot, but I digress. Well, the Westerners, they wanted privatization, and of course the Yankees, they lean more toward a more public social concept. This mess cost so much money that in 1946, the Congress gave them a 50% pay cut, and they moved the headquarters and offices from Washington, D.C. to Salt Lake City so the cattlemen could have more direct control. Now remember, they stole this land in the first place. When the two organizations were combined in 1946, the BLM took over running this mess until they could unload it. And the cattlemen thought it was all temporary and, until they got their deed. But wouldn't you know it, the BLM just didn't go away. Matter of fact, in 1976, Congress passed the Federal Land Policy and Management Act, which ended the disposal part. All but the cattlemen, they're trying to dispose of them today. Now let's take a boat ride down the Red River. Rivers wander. Rivers wander. And there's two kinds of wandering. There's gradual wandering, and there's something called avlusion. Gradual, and the borders kind of go with the flow. Avlusion is where the river jumps banks and just more or less charts its own course. Well, the BLM, it picks and chooses which of these things apply according to their particular need, i.e. about a 116-mile stretch, around about half a mile wide, running along the Red River between Texas and Oklahoma. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you the BLM, under the Acquired Mineral Leasing Act of 1947, gets to allocate minerals. So, they couldn't make any money chopping down trees and Indians. Maybe they do a little bit better in the oil business. Under that, is a whole bunch of sandy oil that can be fracked. And all you got to do is drain the Red River, because it takes a wee bit of water. You're going to go fracking, don't you know? Because if you don't do that, you end up fracked up. Of course, I don't leave much for the cattle, but no matter, them cows are eating too much grass anyway. So they need to push the cattlemen off the land, set up the drills, divert the river, and trot to the bank. The cattlemen now respectively disagree, but let me give you a formula. Okay, now write this down. This is what's called the algebraic formula. BLM plus FBI equals somebody gets shot. These parts ain't big enough for me and you, partner. Where is Billy the Kid when you need him? Folks, this is just a range war. That's all it is. And it looks like the sheep herders is winning.